Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go back to what we were talking about yesterday, which was tell the truth. And the reason I'm asking is because it was a little bit confusing when you were talking about playing an open E. Now, I know, and you have mentioned before, that Eric does not really play in open tunings.
No, he could, but he played the slide uh, with such precision. He didn't have to be in an open. He didn't need an open tuning to do it.
But he doesn't.
Even though he did play on any day, and that was an open D.
Okay, and you both wrote that in open D?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I meant to stop you when we were talking about that yesterday because you have said consistently that he doesn't like playing in open tunings.
No.
He just really plays in, so tell the truth, he was playing in regular tuning.
Regular tuning, straight tuning.
So.
And there was no slide involved on that, you know, because that was just all straight ahead rock and roll. It had Eric and George and Dave Mason, all three playing guitar on it, and I'm banging on piano. And
right.
Carl and Jim.
Okay, I just.
So as the Dominoes, we had a couple of guests.
Right. Okay, what was the other thing I was going to ask you?
I forgot what you was going to ask.
Okay, insofar as being paid during All Things Must Pass, how were you guys paid? I would imagine everybody was different.
Yeah, it's all different, and everybody had their own, I guess, their individual deals. Sure. Eric, of course, didn't receive anything. I didn't go in there to receive anything, even though I did. You know, George took me out in the parking lot, and he says, "Oh, so you're going to be one of us now?" You know, and I had my little Porsche that parked in there, and he gave me 6,000 pounds in cash.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of money. And right then, it's what he did. And I don't know what anybody else got paid, but Eric didn't. As a matter of fact, you know, they had to keep everybody's name pretty much down and out of everything.
Well, back in those days, I hate to keep mentioning back in those days, but it was a fact that you couldn't play on someone else's record or put your name on it if you wanted to play on someone else. You just couldn't do that.
It didn't work like that.
Because you were tied up in contractual obligations or whatever.
Absolutely. And but as far as, you know, like Jerry Wright and Gary Brooker and Badfinger and the rest of the people, you know, I don't know, but we were doing it for the love of the music and the love of George and making a great record, you know.
Broke that up.
But that was really it. That was it, and the finance end of it, you know. But see, the way George was, everybody that was on the Jam record, he gave everybody writers. Whatever song you were on, I remember Jeep and Out of the Blue and something else. I was on three songs, and so I've been receiving writers' royalties from that. From day one, all these years, you know, and I still used to. This was even back maybe 25 years ago. George would send a check and sign it, you know, and I never kept any of them. Like, you know, that one. It just didn't feel right to do something like that, you know. But he would used to do it himself, and then. Started being accompanied, did everything and signed everything, and you know all the companies have changed over now.
Oh yeah, everything.
Yeah, that's always
everything
changing.
Is all business.
But I've always thought it was real special. Here I was sitting out there in that barn on the hilltop in Mississippi, you know, receiving a $55 check from George. I figured it out one time that from then, you know, like 1970. To whatever day it was, I figured that those royalties from the jam sessions have paid my electric bill, you know, every month.
That's not bad at all.
No.
I mean, it's really, really nice to share with everybody.
Yeah, and no one was expecting anything like that. So, I mean, but whatever track you were on. Now, there was one exception, and that's Bobby Keys. because he and Keith Richards got drunk and crazy and tore up a room in Friar Park.
Right.
And so George Nick's paying Bobby because of tearing up his room, being disrespectful.
I believe that we've done all these videos and haven't even mentioned Chuck Leavell. Well, we've mentioned Chuck Leavell, but you haven't really talked about him very much.
Yeah.
So how do you know Chuck Leavell?
From Capricorn days, when I
Oh, yeah.
went down to Macon, was living down there, signed to Capricorn, and I had 2 albums with them, Phil Walden, and you know, I was tied in just like everybody else. The name of their publishing company was No Exit. I kind of told you everything. But you know, we weren't thinking about any of that. Just going on and having a good life and making music and playing music and making records. And anyway, Chuck lived outside of Macon, and he's still down around there. He's got a farm. He and his wife Rose Lane have I think it's about a 2,000-acre tree farm. He's my tree hugging Rolling Stone buddy. And he played on both of my records, I believe it was. And with my favorite, one of my 2 favorite piano players, you know, him and Billy Preston. But when Chuck and I played together, it was real special, you know, because I could play organ and he played piano, and it's really the way. More of a feeling than a listening experience. Is more of a feeling, because he plays with that, you know. Like I would say, I wished I could. I had an accident one time and I lost a tendon here, and and this finger's like it's kind of lame. When I point, it goes that way. You don't have to use 2 fingers to point. This is back an old thing a long time ago in England. I won't go into it. Anyway, I wound up getting myself cut, and they had that tendon went up into my arm, and they was going to operate on it. And I said, no. I said, I just want it to be able to lift it up just a little bit. I said, because I know if it gets back exactly right, I'll be trying to play like Chuck Leavell, because I just admired the way his finesse on the keys, you know. Yeah. And so one reason I kept my fingers kind of like that, it kept me in check, you know, it kept me straight. But I love the way Chuck plays, you know, and he loves the way I play. So, I mean, we have this mutual respect. And so when we played together, it was such a natural thing, you know, it all came out beautifully. You know, and a long time friendship from way back then to right now. You know, I mean, pretty cool. A good guy, and his family are lovely. His daughter is named Ashley as well, and she came into the world about the same time as my daughter named Ashley.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, there was kind of a little name game going on there for a little while, but.
That's weird that you both named your daughters Ashley.
Yeah, not intentional, you know. And they were both born in the same hospital and everything.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah. Memory serves me right. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So you guys hit it off pretty quickly?
Immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we
and
met,
you both knew
met
Dwayne.
through music.
Right. Well, did Chuck? Did he ever have any? Not have any, but did he play with Delaney at all?
No, Lord, no. He had a band called Leavell. They were great. He had Chuck and Lamar Williams was the bass player. What's the drummer's name? Is something English, I think. But Chuck, can't remember all of them. Jimmy Knowles was a guitar player.
Oh yeah.
He was a good friend for years. He passed away a few years ago, but he was a great guitar player and a good friend for a long time. I used to go see him when we lived in Nashville some years back.
Yes, I
Yeah,
remember.
I'd go visit him.
He wasn't well then.
No, he had that same thing that Michael, what's his name, has. What is his name?
I don't know who.
He shakes.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, boy, this is spontaneous. He shakes.
He's an
Oh,
actor,
you're talking
you know,
about Michael
Back to
J.
the Future.
Fox.
That's him,
He has
Michael J. Fox.
Parkinson's. Yeah. Shakes.
Sorry.
Bobby.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm thinking about letters are going to fly around here.
I
There
know.
won't be enough stamps.
Oh, dear.
Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he had a wire that went into his brain,
Yeah.
and when he turned off the switch, he would start shaking. Jimmy, no, he would start shaking. But when he turned it back on, he was, he was smooth. Steady Freddy.
Okay.
Okay. Funny stuff.
We
huh?
had to take a 10-minute break.
Yeah, well, this is after a 10-minute break. It gets that way with me sometimes. I can't help it. And then once it starts, it's like the floodgates open and it just rolls out, you know. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's not me.
Okay.
It's really not me.
Oh, my God.
But,
Sorry
yeah.
about that. Okay. We should.
All right, now where were we?
I don't know. We probably ought to move on to something
Yeah, we
else.
can move on to something else.